This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
The best of the Morning X.
With Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy.
99X.
Peter Conlan over there printing up concert tickets as we speak.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Excellent.
Give us a leak, Peter Conlan. Which big show's coming to town? Leak some info.
I can't.
Oh, come on. Come on. Big news that no one knows yet.
There's going to be some good ones around the holidays.
Oh, yeah? Around
Thanksgiving, there's two really exciting shows.
When is that U2 concert? Is that the day after Thanksgiving?
I said exciting shows.
Is that when that is? I can't remember.
Is that one of your shows?
There's plenty of seats available. No, it's not. I did them last time, which sold out like first day in an hour, I believe.
That cannot be one of the easier concerts to work with, the U2. That must be, for a concert promoter, a lot of headaches.
That in the Stone Steel Wheels were tremendous productions. You're dealing with about 65 semis equipment-wise.
Wow.
And
what about the artists themselves? Like, take a U2. I mean, anything...
Oh, they're really good guys. I like Bono, and they're really nice guys. They're very easygoing and aren't a real pain to deal with. They're actually very nice guys.
But don't you that rock star aura is just surrounding them, though. It's like a little cloud that follows them around.
Yeah, but they do that when they're supposed to. Real professionals in this business realize that, and they have to act that way. But then when they're in a business situation, most of them really kind of take it off and are just people.
What about like the Stones? You've worked with them.
Yeah, they're very nice. I mean, Keith Richards is one of the nicest, most approachable people around. Just a really nice guy.
I actually have met him and have met them, and you're right. They're nicer than you might think.
What about like Tiffany?
Who?
The mall tour. Was that a tough production?
Tiffany. I never did that one. I did Debbie Gibson.
Did you really?
Did you really?
Unbelievable, at the Omni, and they wanted to do a video, and we were doing it down the Omni, and we gave away a lot of seats because it didn't sell real well, and right in the middle of it, the lightning storm knocked out the power in the Omni.
Oh. So pitch black with Debbie Gibson on stage.
Well, the lights go on, and then we went back on, and her mother was her manager, which is always a wonderful situation.
Oh, yeah.
And wanted to scream and yell about the lightning storm and basically what could we have done to prevent it. And
talk to God.
Yeah, I said, that's really something we don't control, but...
Well, you should have told her, in the concert business, you know what a lightning storm during a Tiffany concert's called, a Debbie Gibson concert called? A blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I think it was actually a sign from God. I mean, he was probably mad at us that we were doing the show.
We were talking about these riders, and can you name names on some of these or not?
Yeah, some ones, the ones that don't tour anymore. No.
Right, the ones that are dead and gone.
Some of them are, actually, what I was, because when Jimmy mentioned it to me, I started thinking, and there's two things. One is that it kind of gives you a little glimpse sometimes into the person and who you're working with, which is good. And other times it gets into the lunatic fringe area where they're just asking for things that are bizarre. But
let's go into the lunatic fringe area. First of all, you've heard that John Tesh thing, right? Did you hear us talking about that on your way in?
No, I've worked with John.
Apparently, then I read this in People magazine. He has a thing in his rider that his dressing room has to have 2 WWF action figures in it, and the only reason is to make sure you have read every piece of copy in that rider. Is that common? Will people throw in little...
Well, that's the famous Van Halen brown M&Ms. That was the reason they put that in there. They really wanted to see if people were paying attention to their riders, and they figured everybody would call screaming, "We're not going to hire someone to pick out the brown M&Ms," but all these promoters hired someone to pick out the brown M&M.
Huh.
So they put it as a joke, and it ended up being, taken seriously.
Lunatic fringe. Give us an example.
I think we were talking about the Diana Ross, which I call the Lot's wife clause.
The what?
The Lot's wife clause. In the Bible when you looked at, She had actually a clause in there that you could not make eye contact if you walked into her anywhere backstage. You were to turn your head away immediately and face an opposite direction.
See,
How could you ever sign a contract agreeing to that?
Well, we didn't. We crossed that through, you know.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't have a problem with that?
They kick and scream, and, you know, I was on the phone with lawyers for weeks on that show.
You can't look at Diana Ross.
Yeah, you're not supposed to, and only speak with her if she is to address you, and then you may respond to Ms. Ross.
To Miss Ross.
If she that must make the artist, though. You got to think, if that contract's circulating around the country, you got to think people aren't going to like you too much.
Yeah,
It doesn't help, that kind of stuff. It really doesn't. And you don't know whether it's them or some overzealous assistant thinking that, you know, but it
looking out for them.
Yeah, they were in arenas, which they're not anymore. They used to make you string this pipe and drape from the stage to the dressing room. You know, Barry Manilow did that, where they had a chute going directly, and you weren't allowed to look at them.
Wait a minute. This time out, he had that?
No, that was the old days. Yeah, that was
the old
the arena days.
And he had a thing where he could walk from the dressing room to the stage without being seen?
Right. They did this chute, and you weren't supposed to talk to him either.
You know, this would be an interesting... you could put a lot of this stuff in a book. Yeah, you cross out the names, but I can see a book where you would just have weird concert riders.
Well, but you can't. I mean, that's the book I'll write like the year after I retire, you know?
Right.
When I don't want any calls returned.
Mm-hmm.
What else, Peter?
Well, Sinatra was a piece of cake. I mean, I worked with him on 3 occasions, and I think 4. And he, his dressing room was so simple. He wanted a crock pot of chicken noodle soup, some chicken salad sandwiches, some Lifesavers, some unfiltered Luckies, and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
That's Frankie.
That was Frank Sinatra.
That's Frankie.
Yeah. You know, ZZ Top used to want, you know, really, really nice wines. I mean, cases of, like, vintage wines, you know. And then we found they were sending it back home to a wine cellar. They weren't even drinking it backstage.
Who's had the most elaborate, out-of-control rider you've ever seen?
The one in the business that stands out, which was back in the 70s, was Fleetwood Mac on their big tour. Alex had added it up, all the liquor they required. And just out of a curiosity, he added it up to see, you know, how much liquor is this.
Sure.
And it would have taken every member of the crew and every member of the band would have had to drink 164 ounces of alcohol.
To finish it.
To finish it.
Yeah, you wonder how many times you're not just supplying the tour with alcohol as opposed to that night.
And their friends and all that. But see, then in the 80s, a lot of bands found out, hey, we're paying for this. And it cut back to some bizarre requests, but it got out of the huge kind of costly stuff. I mean, like on the U2, that last tour, a catering bill was in the 6 figures.
The catering alone?
Yeah.
Wow, that's more than a wedding.
Yeah. Oh,
much more.
They had a couple hundred people on the road, and you're feeding them for 4 days. But it was. We built a tent outside in the parking lot, and 3 meals a day, plus after dinner, after show, and special parties, things like that. It was in the 6 figures.
What's the most bizarre request ever, besides the staring at Diana Ross thing?
The funniest was Danzig. Had a
Danzig
had this request in his rider that we circulated around the office and laughed. He wanted 3 girls with high school diplomas who lived within a $10 cab fare of the venue.
He wanted
that
3
was on his
girls.
contract?
That
was on his contract?
It was in his contract.
Really?
A lot of these guys ask for stuff and you just don't give it to them. We had a couple groups ask for drugs, in the contract.
Oh yeah?
Just cross out,
Couple of bags.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime Video. This week, the AFC North takes center stage as the Pittsburgh Steelers battle the Cincinnati Bengals. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with football's best party, TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Steelers and Bengals, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Everyone knows the legend of D.B. Cooper, but what if I told you there's an even better story out there? One with multiple aircraft hijackings, prison escapes, and so many twists and turns. I'm talking about the hit podcast American Skyjacker, which is now an action-packed documentary coming to theaters and streaming this fall. Find out more at www.americanskyjacker.com and listen to the bonus episode of the podcast on October 7th. American Skyjacker. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What was the deal with Kiss about you had to dress up?
Oh, yeah.
Or?
Kiss, we had to dress up. That was in the rider that the promoter had to dress up like a member of Kiss.
Why?
I think the thing was they wanted you to feel part of the experience, and I think also these are guys who wanted you to see what it feels like to put on makeup for a day.
But, Peter, you don't strike me. I mean, I know you. I don't see you getting in the makeup and stuff. I mean, who...
I was actually more amenable to it than, of course, Alex.
Oh, no. Well, and you know what, really, who wants to see Alex dressed up like that?
Which one were you, Peter?
I didn't do it.
Oh, you
okay.
didn't do it?
I got out of it.
You would have made a good Peter. Peter Chris.
I was...
Because the hair length and everything?
I just couldn't decide. It was all such an attractive idea to me.
And they didn't hassle you about it come showtime? Because I've heard that they won't go on unless you do that.
Nah, they didn't really. We got someone else to do it for us, and they liked what we did, and they thought it was funny. But Gene Simmons did come up to me and said, "Why aren't you dressed up?"
Is it true that you're going to do next year at Chastain as part of the concert series, an evening with Marilyn Manson at Chastain?
Oh, yeah, that's all I need right now, Jimmy.
Yeah, with the ASO.
Oh yeah, that'd be really exciting.
Big nights.
I think that'd be a very tasteful evening.
Wow, guys, we could sit around and talk to Uncle Peter for hours.
Yeah. Hey, Peter, tell us about that time Elvis. Did you ever work with that? Elvis was way before you were in this business.
Well, actually, I never worked with him, but I was reading that blurb in the paper last week about how he was calling Jimmy Carter.
Right.
And I used to work for Carter, and I was actually in the White House about 2 weeks before he died. I was over in the scheduling office sitting with a friend of mine, and we were talking, having a beer, after hours, just kind of talking. And the operator would always send calls over for clearance if it was someone, that was not your ordinary person, whatever, asking for the president. And he said, answer the phone. He was on the other line, and it was the operator said, I have a clearance call, and I took it. It was Elvis.
You took a call from Elvis Presley?
Yeah.
How did that conversation go?
It was real short. I mean, he wanted to talk to the president. I asked who he was, and he said, I'm Elvis.
And wait a minute.
I didn't ask for a last name. I figured there's only one.
Yeah, but with all the people out there who imitate Elvis and throughout the years, you must not have bought it at first. I mean,
no, that's why they do the verification, and then,
what did you ask him? How did you verify it was really him?
Well, you get a number, you call him back at Graceland.
Yeah, after hours, what does Elvis have to talk to the president about?
Well, it was I guess it's in a magazine this month. I never asked Carter. I always meant to. I always was like, apparently he was calling with some requests,
So he calls and he says, this is Elvis, and you said, okay, Elvis Presley, and then what? What would you like to talk about? Why do you want to talk to the president?
No, I don't ask him that. That's apparently, I said to the guy who's in the office, I said, is Carter talking? He said, oh, yeah, they're talking. They've been talking. Just tell them to hold for a minute. So, I said, do you mind holding? He said, no, glad to hold.
Glad to hold on. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, really.
All right,
Peter. Good to talk to you.
All right, guys.
Good luck with all your upcoming shows.
Thanks.
Peter Conlan. See you later.
Bye.
The best of the morning X.
99X.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Searching for an inside look at the people, stories, and passion that fuel the state of soccer in America.
Who's going to be the key man for the U.S. men's national team?
First and foremost, they need to win.
There's something so fun about being the underdog.
You're playing with house money almost.
But what does this success mean for the future of U.S. soccer?
Ooh, you're getting deep now.
This is where soccer will come to life.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.